Swami Vivekananda Technical University. So please join us on stage.
And it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Mr. Rahul Pinameli, a visual leader in the field of geospatial technology, as a founder and CEO of Polygon.
Our next panelist for today, Mr. Jignesh Talasila.
It gives me great pleasure to introduce Mr. Joginder, a visionary technopreneur in the realm of health and wellness innovation. Please welcome, sir.
The stage is set and the dialogue awaits. Please join me in extending a round of applause for our esteemed panelists, Mr. R.N. Patel, Mr. Rahul Pinnamaneni, Mr. Jignesh Talasila, and Mr. Joginder Tanikella. Their insights promise to illuminate the path toward electric innovation and entrepreneurship, steering us closer to a future. So I would like
a very good evening to the August gathering. I am very grateful for this opportunity to be present here. So the panel discussion session topic is Impact of AI in Innovation and Entrepreneurship. The session agenda will draw attention towards the opportunities, challenges and socio-economic implications of AI in education, innovation, entrepreneurship, healthcare and allied industries. The new AI-enabled cyber-physical systems are constituted by a range of emerging general-purpose technologies that are being applied across a variety of industries, which include education, Internet of Things, augmented reality, transportation, biotechnology, and medical management. Each of our panelists here bring unique perspectives from their respective domains of expertise, which will help us understand the impact or replace the changes AI will bring in the future. So I want to first of all welcome all our panelists. Thank you for being here and gracing this occasion. I would like all of you to share your views and opinions about the impacts of AI in your own words. Sir, can we start with you?
Thank you, ma'am. In fact, I feel that AI has been around for a long time, of course, and basically, if you are into coding, you will understand that AI coming from machine learning is a series of if-then loops. But recently, when OpenAI released ChatGPT, even I was shocked. It seemed like magic to me, even though I'm a programmer. And to know that how the LLMs are able to predict the next word in such a sequence that it looks like it's actually having a conversation with you. And I feel that AI is here to stay, and even though people say that AI will replace jobs, I don't think it's going to replace any job. But if you can learn how to use it, you can make your life easier and make your work easier. Thank you.
Absolutely. In fact, until today, if you have to work with a computer or if you have to make a computer do something for you, you need to know its language, which is C, C++, Java, Python, whatnot. For the first time when OpenAI released ChatGPT, it created a bridge between humans and the computer. So now you can talk to the computer in your language and it understands you. For the first time, the position reversed. So that is the real big advantage of the current time. So if you are in current time, you have to leverage this opportunity and start doing what best you can to use AI in your daily operations. So that's basically what my opinion is.
Yeah, thank you. Being from the background of academia, I would say that I'll focus on this aspect particularly. So AI has a lot of impact on academics, both positive and negative. But I guess it has a lot of positivity as well, looking into the world situation. And AI is going to help us, like for engineering, visualize things better. Even for governments has the policy of making the language-based, regional language-based education, so as will play a big role. We already have started many projects on conversion from the book of the books to languages. So all these AI tools are going to be immensely helpful for the education. And also, I also promote entrepreneurship, rural entrepreneurship. So I feel that AI's application in agriculture sector is also very significant for India's progress in economy. If you could employ AI, we are already talking about drones, drone-based irrigation, micro irrigation, and a lot of many more things, even the agriculture tools. So I would say that these two things, education and agriculture, if we focus AI for helping these two segments, India will benefit a lot. Thank you.
I think if you look at the past, I think every decade you have an opportunity, new tech coming in. Back in 2006 to 2010, you'll actually see mobile phones coming into smartphones, and that has defined pretty much the last decade. And AI has been around without a presence. For example, geospatial tech, when you talk about photogrammetry, you talk about stitching images together, you're actually having a lot of AI ML models do that already. But when you talk about generative AI, that's a new subject altogether. And I think the next decade is now, which is using AI for innovation. And it will leapfrog us for the next decade. Of, we have to bring in new business ideas, innovations based on that.
And thank you all for your insights. I would now like to start the panel discussion, and I would like to pose the question to Dr. R.N. Patel. Sir, I would like to know your opinion about AI replacing a teacher. Will AI be able to cater to the social needs, the psychological mentoring and personality development of the student and help them launch themselves in their career?
Thank you for that good question. So actually many teachers are actually worried about the jobs. Like they feel that personally right now we are developing 17 courses in the university where we are looking to Swayam. So people are thinking that tomorrow these videos will replace the teacher. And that's actually not in fact. Because COVID pandemic has taught this lesson, it answered this question with more than anybody else could research. So COVID has made people fed up with the modern online and all these platforms and AI and all those things. People actually miss the personal relationship. We miss the relationship with the teacher. As you said right in the question, the mentoring. So I would say that AI-based knowledge and the teacher-based knowledge has difference. Like we have a difference between the information and knowledge. Information is something that a machine can get, but knowledge machine cannot, because knowledge and information there's a difference. Difference is that knowledge has a realization, the feelings. Like if you put a camera before the sunrise or sunset, it can just see that this is sunrise or sunset, but it cannot experience the sunset. The experience is missing. So teacher has to transfer the experience. Teacher has to transfer the emotions, the feelings, and AI can never do that. So I would say that mentoring and psychological part, AI can never do that. AI could be a good servant to the teacher, and help the teacher to get the ready to use material, avoid the manual work, and avoid many kinds of giving different quizzes and examinations. Our friends are using it. My friends are there in IITs also. They are using AI tools for examinations, changing their questions and all so many things. So AI could be a good servant to the teacher, but it cannot replace the teacher. In short. So there could be much detailed answer, but that's in short. Yes.
So now I also have a trailing question to this. Now, considering the vastly changing job scenario, what is your advice to the students in terms of enhancing their employability? What kind of skills do the people returning to work from race, especially returning mothers, since this conference is all about women in engineering, we should also consider what kind of skills and upskilling returning mothers need to acquire now?
Yeah, thank you for that very good question again. I think as far as as far as job prospects concerned, AI tools are very helpful. No, actually, I belong to an electrical background, and many of my friends are now adopting to AI because in electrical power system, we are now. A new example to make it more clear. There's a need for cyber security. There's a need for AI tools. There's a need for smart grids. So a teacher from any job, not only teacher, any person doing job probably has to use some bit of AI tomorrow. So for any, as you say, ask the question of those who are returning to the jobs, it's very important for them to get adopted to the AI tools. And that's the need of the future. Because everything will be mixed with some bit of AI. But at the same time, what you asked about the mothers, I would say that I have personally felt in my academic career and in so many years of teaching experience, that there is a much more basic need that is communication. I would say that there are other skills than AI. Not only AI, but there are other skill sets. Depends upon the skill set. For example, I would say in general the skill set that is missing in India is the communication. So returning mother should focus on communication. I would say that anybody who is with communication can get a good job, even today. So good English communication, a good communication skill would be one of the focus. And apart from that, returning mother would focus on any, depends upon the domain. As I said about electrical engineering, if somebody is in this field, they have to learn about the smart grid, they learn about basic energy and new fields of energy and all those things. But it depends upon the kind of job. But last thing I would say is that it's a very good thing to learn the AI as the subject for today's discussion for those who want to work from home. There are many of my friends working in industries and they are offering very good salary for somebody who is working from home. Just the coding skills, just some basic skills. Then tomorrow, one of the very good field that is opening for the returning mother, as you said, is that AI in schools. The data science, we say the coding from the class 6, and NEP has talked about all those things. So new education policy is going to bring more of these skills in the schools. So mother will be a good teacher. If they learn two things, is AI and coding, other skills, and communication skills. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I would like to pose the next question to Mr. Rahul. Sir, do you really want a computer to make ethical decisions like you do? Or should they follow purely logical set of fixed rules? Also, considering that we as humans have occasional minor moral weaknesses, from whom should an autonomous artificial intelligence machine learn its ethics?
Very good question. So today's age, people are talking about AI, and even founders like from OpenAI or Google, Microsoft, they have openly said it's scary for them, it's scary for everyone. Don't know how the future is definitely going to turn out. But AI models are run on data-driven insights, and how we make decisions based on that. So one human intervention wouldn't just justify whether to decide if the AI is giving proper result or not. So it is always important to have different perspectives. Even for a model to be trained, it has to be trained on very different human perspectives as well as cultural perspectives. There are a lot of things that you have to understand. And over time, I think the AI model can still understand human feelings as well, because empathy is more important. That is what, it can take decisions, but without the empathy part, definitely not required. Currently, I think you should still have a human oversight over any AI decision.
I will just add to that. If you ask a current AI, who is a happy man? Show me a picture of a happy man. What do you think the AI would show? It would show someone with a car, with a lot of money, with nice dress, etc. But ideally, this is the Western perspective. If you have to ask the same question in India, how did this AI has been trained with Indian data set? A happy man would be someone with parents, kids, family, and as big as the number of people related to the frame. So the problem with today's AI fundamentally is it is biased with the data that it has got, which is all Caucasian Western data sets. Now, this is what OpenAI and others have done. Now the other competitors, newer entry players like Stability AI and others, these are trying to create national data sets. So the same happy man will be trained differently for US, for India, for Japan, and all of us will have our own versions of it. So this is the first problem in ethics behind AI. So now the ethicists are actually trying to bring in the cultural elements, the national elements into this. So this is where the bigger opportunity also lies for all of us. So the older versions are trained with junk data, any data. But now we have to get the right data, rightly annotated, rightly labeled with the context. And that is going to be the next industry in itself. If you can bring that or start up with that industry, I think that itself is a good opportunity for us.
I would also like to add to this The reason this question came up was because I was studying about Amazon and the recruitment process of Amazon, which became very highly biased towards males. Yes, because initially only males were getting employed and males used to be a part of the organization, and eventually it just turned towards a gender bias. So that was one of the reasons I wanted to mention this question. My next question is from Mr. Jignesh. Sir, in recent interviews, the inventor of ChatGPT, Mr. Sam Altman, has stated that all organizations should restrict the use of AI as no standard regulations have been set up on an international as well as national scale. Who should be held responsible and accountable for AI decision making? Is it the government, the organization implementing AI, or the user? Also, we could consider the classic trolley problem in this case, where if there is an accident that is supposed to happen, who would the AI machine choose?
I would call them more of a dichotomy problems, where they saw that there is no never right answer. Put them aside, they're very niche aspects. But if you look at the general aspects, let's say for example, we talk about what is the right way of interacting with the opposite gender. If you ask this question in India, we have set an approach, whereas if you ask the same question in the US or the Western markets, the approach is very different. So now, if you have a global policy, this is what the problem will be. What is accepted in the US is not accepted in India in the way how you interact with an opposite gender. Similarly, what is accepted in the US might not be in India as well. So we need a local national policy. In fact, for a country like India, you would also end up having industry or state-wise policies. That might also happen. But that said and done, every org will also evolve on top of it. Every department also will evolve on top of it. So there is never a right answer. In fact, the players themselves are figuring out, they're all hiring the best ethicists of the world to design these policies at the moment. But all of it said and done, the creators of AI themselves are restricting them right now. Very recently, there's a new edition that has come up in the BARD models by Google. And Google openly said that we are not going to release it publicly because if you release the picture creation generative AI capability so openly, anyone could create a fake image and do all the wrong things. So they are restricting the capabilities of the AI so that it won't look real, it won't look photorealistic. So these are some really nice decisions that Google and Facebook and Microsoft started taking. So such decisions for the creators itself has to happen. Now the other type of technology creation, let's say scalability, they say that they are not releasing the best version of AI because they want to create an invisible watermark inside. So that tomorrow when someone submits an image as an evidence in court, the court will have a tool to see whether it is a fake image or a real image, which is fundamentally embedded into the system by the creator. So these things are happening as I speak. It's a journey. See, AI right now from a ChatGPT perspective or OpenAI perspective, it's only 3 to 6 months old. It's an infant. Give it 2-3 years. Like any kid learns to speak and do all the activities by the age of 3. In the next 3 years, it is really going to change. So let's wait for that.
My next question is for Jurinder, sir. So, sir, since you belong to the biomedical IoT industry, I would like to know what kind of socio-economic and ethical implications are expected by using AI in the biomedical space.
One of the most important ethical problems is, of course, that if the data which is collected is not anonymized, then you have the potential to actually spread people's data, personal data to others. And that is a very important thing. For example, when ChatGPT started, then the developers in Samsung, they were using ChatGPT happily by even inputting their own source code and so on, till that became public knowledge. So basically, whatever you put into it, anybody can access in a way if you ask it. So the first ethical consideration is what data are you feeding into it and is it anonymous or not? The second ethical consideration is there's a very big problem with AI right now, that is hallucination. So basically, if you understand the nature of AI, it is using large language models which is based on statistical probability. So sometimes it is not really thinking, though it seems like it is thinking, so it is making up things. And most of the times what the things it makes up are actually real. But sometimes it can actually make up things which are not real also. and that will actually create a very big problem. So this hallucination is, I think, one of the biggest problems with in the biomedical side, the health side. Thank you.
Also, there's a follow-up question. So, how is the patient's data and records safeguarded in this age?
This is actually happening all over the world right now. In fact, in India also now we have a new act for the data privacy, and that is also affecting us. And we are looking into that how we can do it. We have about, for example, we ourselves have around 6 lakh people data with us. So the thing is how to safeguard it, and like Jignesh has himself mentioned, it's a journey. So things are being improved and regulations are being put into place. There will be some hits and misses, and we will get to the right way to deal with this.
Thank you so much, sir. My next question I would like to pose to Mr. Rahul. So, do you think there is an increased need for security considering the remote sensing devices are prone to cyber attacks? What measures are taken at the organizational and government levels?
So definitely, because you're talking about a lot of data, as well as equipment to actually collect that data. You have so many players in it, like be it government, be it organizations, be it manufacturers that are building in chips, or like even software developers that build like these cloud control softwares to actually control drones or unmanned vehicles. So all of them have to put in place security measures. We should have encryption protocols in place for data transfers and different things. And similarly, like geospatial data in general is very restricted. So to get access to it, there are procedures that you have to follow, which is a good thing, and continue to be that way. So that way, access is not given to every random person, like sensitive data. Not just like when we say maps or like images. Even personal data, land records, when you talk about so many details, like, you have smart cities that are coming up with a lot of applications where you have personalized details, your electricity bill, you have your PAN details, your different things. All of that is also secure data that needs to be there. Government definitely has regulations coming up, and it is still in a very nascent stage. But definitely, you require a lot of cybersecurity measures that needs to be taken.
Thank you so much, sir. My next question is for Dr. R.N. Patel. So, since you also work in the startups, and so I would like to know what are the implications of AI on new venture processes and practices. Also, how AI-driven ventures would affect the non-AI based ventures economically.
Yeah, so actually it's kind of question which is somewhat within my experience, somewhat beyond my experience, because I'm not from business. But having mentored some of the startups, I can say that AI has a definite role to play, especially in certain things which are like accuracy, the speed, and the decision-making process, automation industry 4, industry 5, and going to be very important to adopt this AI as a tool. But at the same time, as you asked the second part of the question, that how is going to AI enable business versus those who are not AI enabled. Definitely, AI is an advantage for business. There are a lot of good things like the customization, all those features can be done with the help of AI. But not having AI is definitely a disadvantage in terms of business. And I feel that people have to really adopt to that. And slowly, just the way things will be more towards this more of machine-based things, even in simple things like agriculture, as mentioned in the beginning, is going to be AI. Even the digital tools are now coming in countries, like they are talking about now automated tractors and so on. Because I actually have a hobby of farming also, so I can see that AI is going to play a role, and people are now even doing this processes also, like the hiring processes and the recruitment processes, and even the many things are going to be impacted by AI. I would say more positively, but somewhat also there are some challenges also, because the AI also increases the cost of the products, and some of the sophistications also we have to compromise with the cost. So those are the pluses and minuses in
Thank you so much, sir. I would like Mr. Jignesh to answer the next question. So, do you think can industry self-regulation deliver ethical AI? Can the industry self-regulate themselves to deliver ethical AI?
I think no, especially in Indian context. See, the problem today is in India, we don't have a regulation in place and there is no right or wrong. Suddenly the government can come tomorrow and say, what you're doing is wrong, you can't do it anymore. So the challenge with that is, people in such situations try to do under the carpet. We try to buy data in the black market, we try to extract data, let's say for medical perspective, whatnot. So when you do these under black market, non-regulated markets, all kinds of bad things can happen. The moment you regulate it, let's say for example, in a health record, except for one or two points of information, the name and the person's Aadhaar number or whatever, rest is all okay, I can share it with anyone. It is not going to map into any particular person. So what if government brings the regulations faster and say that, this 90% anyone can start using it from tomorrow, then people would also start making use of it instead of just doing all the unethical ways of extracting the data. So in that line, I think Indian government has already started steps. They are about to launch or almost launch the open data sets at the moment. I think that will more catch up. Once that happens, I think ethical questions would automatically be taken out. Regulation will control everything in that point of view. Yeah.
I would like to pose the next question to Dr. Anand Patel because this is from the education sector and we see a lot of students here. So, various AI tools are available at the disposal of students for completing their assignments, writing their reports, thesis, even their resumes. And we see a lot of plagiarism incidences which have come up because of this. And I think what I feel is that the students are losing their creative skills. So what is your opinion about it?
Could you repeat the question? I mean, the last part.
I'm saying that because of tools, so they're losing their creative skills. So what do you feel about it?
Are students losing creative skills because of AI? Yes or no? Okay.
Yeah, actually, and there could be a lot of copying in the COVID era. I could see. I don't know it as I see most of the time it's a misapplication of creativity. But actually, it could have also positive applications in terms of teaching, learning. But I feel that it has to be mentored. And there's a lot of other things like, the things that. So it was very difficult in the COVID time. We had examinations. People are actually using different tools. And I think there are certain roles to play, and there are things are not developed yet. As the previous question you asked, unless there is a regulation fixed, we should not encourage these kind of things, and the students should also be discouraged. Unless there is a positive regulation, there is a proper guidelines, it's dangerous to use AI tools for the students.
I came across a picture some time ago. This picture is teachers striking on the roads of US with placards saying, no calculators in school. This is 40-50 years ago picture. And today, if you look at the school environment, we use officially calculators in our exams now. So I think this is exactly going to be the same thing. Did we lose the skill of mental math, Vedic math, etc.? Yes. But do we really need it today in the age of mobile calculators? Definitely no. Same thing is going to happen with what AI will bring in now. I used to write my emails after thinking 10 times, 10 drafts to my investors. Now not anymore. I just ask AI and then you give me 4 options and I'll make a hybrid of it and then launch it. Have I been losing the skill of polished communication? Yes. But is it making me better by giving me more insights faster? Maybe yes, maybe. So it is too early again. These are all too early. This is all clinical trials. So we'll know whether the patient dies or lives a little later.
Jignesh sir, I also wanted to ask you this question. Since you work in the job market, your company helps in talent acquisition, what kind of newer job avenues can be created because of AI?
Definitely there is one skill. In fact, this question was asked to Dr. Patel earlier. There are, like UN sets the SDGs. There is an organization called World Economic Forum under the UN, which sets the 21st century skills. So they've released a set of skills for 21st century in the beginning of the century. I believe the next most important skill that gets added to the list is prompt engineering. So prompt engineering is nothing but talking to computer in your language in the way it understands. So if you know the skill, definitely the next set of jobs that are going to come in the market would be impacted because of this skill. So a programmer writing a code with ChatGPT support, I can always do less bugs, better efficient code than the other programmer. So this is going to be level 1, where I have to use it to do my current work better. The level 2 is where eventually the job of programmer will disappear. There won't be any more languages, eventually maybe. It is only about human language, that's all. No more Python, no more Java, no more Flutter, and no more nothing. So that could be the possible future 10-20 years from now. So yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your insights. I would now like to ask the audience if they have any questions they would like to ask the panelists. Anyone amongst the audience who would be interested in asking any of the questions to the panelists?
They'll ask ChatGPT instead of us.
We are waiting the cultural event.
Any of the students, any of the speakers who would like to ask any questions regarding AI? Because we've been discussing about AI.
I have a question for you. How many of you have not used ChatGPT until now? A quick raise of hands. You are all going to perish. Go back home and start using ChatGPT.
Thank you so much, sir. And I thank the audience for listening so patiently to the panel discussion. Thank you for this opportunity to be here amongst all of you. Thank you.
Thank you.